Hello everyone and welcome to Galaxy 89 Cars. Now today I'm back at Superventura and I'm going to film the car behind me, the Ferrari 488 GTB. So the big hype with the 488 GTB is that it's the first turbocharged Ferrari in a generation. They've gone from a 4.5 litre normally aspirated V8 and its predecessor, the Ferrari 458 and 458 Speciale, the whole line, to a 3.9 litre twin turbo V8, which produces 661 brake horsepower and 561 newton meters of torque. Seems to be quite a Marmite car, reading some reviews, and people have lots of different opinions about it. Some are absolutely in love, and say that the turbos aren't any kind of detriment to the overall sound and quality of the driving experience, while others say that they don't appreciate the looks, and they feel that there's something lacking, that the sound isn't quite as pure as it used to be. What I'm going to do is try to give you an insight on the car and a little bit of a tour around it. So let's start at the front. We have this almost LaFerrari-esque front splitter. As we can see, it goes around the front, the whole of the front of the car, all of the different sensors that run around the car. And these absolutely huge grills that take air in and then pipe them out with these ducts at the front for added aero downforce. And of course we have these lovely LEDs and day running lights at the side that I always think in these cars look really, really nice. Now this car, the 488 GTB, actually has the LaFerrari brakes. So when I look at this car in comparison to some others, these are absolutely humongous. I mean, they are huge. You can see the different lines of the car. It's a lot more aerodynamic than the 458 was. I mean, it still had lots of different lines, and when the 458 came out, people were sort of in love with it as a new look, sort of modern Ferrari. But this one has cutaways here at the side to allow air to come in to feed the turbos for this amazing engine. Now there's almost like a torrential storm going on outside, so you have to pardon me if I have to talk up, but you can see the engine here, hopefully. We approach the rear of the car, we can see the diffuser and the little reversing light that comes on and the exhausts. Full filler cap. So as with other cars, I have the key, and this has also changed. The previous generation of Ferraris had the other key that had the long metal stalk that was used for actually going inside the ignition, and then the sort of rounded end to it. This is totally different. No sort of metal exterior components. Just as you can see here, hopefully it will focus. Has 4 settings: lights, unlock, lock, and the boot, or the front, to come up. So what we're going to do is going to open the car and then we're going to get in. So a really small handle to open the door here, just like that. Careful not to hit the wall. Quick little look at the interior. So we've got the side panel that isn't illuminated. We've got the front boot release hatch on the side of the seats, with all the different, there's the memory settings up, down, and the different types of controls that we want to use to adjust the seats. It's a very nice environment. This one is spec'd nicely. The colour combination of the red inside and the grey on the outside. Let's get in. So automatically the driving position is really low down. Maybe you've seen my AMG GTS video. I thought that was low, but in comparison to this, it's a lot lower down. So looking through some of the features of the car before we turn it on. You've got the release hatch for the door here. Different controls. Speaker down here. I think these are actually, they're padded, they're not as solid as other cars. And there's a little thing here, no vanity mirror. Is there one for the passenger? Yes, there's a very small vanity mirror for the passenger. In the centre, we have different light functions. One over here as well. You can lock and unlock the car. If we look at the seats, they're padded and finished really nicely in leather, with the Ferrari embroidered headrest, if you can see that there. At the back, I'm not sure about other Ferraris, but this feels quite large storage space, relatively. And you've got this meshing here that you can stow stuff away. If we look back, we have a really, oh, if it's actually going to focus, we have a really nice view of the engine bay. We can see probably because my mic's getting in the way, unfortunately, but maybe we can have a look at that another way. The 488 livery over here, and in the parcel shelf, which is also finished in leather, which feels nice, we have this sort of felt lining in here. It's actually quite spacious. And we have the controls for the vents here. Got a vent quite neatly tucked away here, one over here, and one here. Go down to the centre. Have the reversing button, automatic launch control, hazard lights, the window controls up and down. I've just got the key stowed away in the centre portion here, but this is all the space that you get for keeping stuff. It's enough for a mobile phone or, you know, something of the like. Got a USB setting down here, power socket here. It's quite a lot of room. It all feels very nice. The steering wheel. Now this whole area to me, maybe it's an Italian thing, but it feels quite complicated. There's a lot going on for the driver. There's a host of controls over here and a host of controls over here and a lot on the steering wheel. We're going to get to those individually in a second. So with the wheel, carbon fibre, gloss carbon fibre, and in this specific one we have the rev counter, which is a nice addition. Sides in leather, they feel very nice to hold. This is the driving position. For me, I probably have to bring it forward a bit, but it feels quite nice. The Manotino switch, so we can go through all the different settings. Wet, sport, race. All this ESC off. Wiper controls, indicators, start-stop button, the bumpy road setting, so if you'd like to go through a bumpy road, I don't know if you can see the weather today, it is absolutely terrible, but you would maybe use something like that with wet, and you would make the setting, adjust the settings accordingly. Light button indicator, and on the side we have these absolutely huge carbon fibre shifters. Gloss feeling, they feel very, very nice. Nice and smooth. So what we're going to do is going to start the car. So everything comes to life. Hopefully the radio won't come on. So, what we have, if I can do this both. So as you can see on this side, we have the screen. And that screen is controlled by these settings over here. So, we can go through the status of the car. You can see the current speed, the different temperatures for the tyres. Zoom into that quickly. And then we have battery and oil, different temperatures, and that's it. And then we press back on this button over here. So we look at this setting, we have OK, the directions, turbo VDA back, and this pit setting. So what we're going to do is go back, and then using these controls we can look at the trip. At 93 miles per hour, we're going to presume that that was on a track, and that's it. So we go back again, the VDA, so the traction control, the vehicle dynamics. We can look at the diff, lots of different things, the stability control that was actually taken from the Speciale, ESC, ABS, etc. Lap times. So as you can see, this is of course a car for the road, and it's a car that's meant to be more economical with the turbos, but it definitely has a focus. Ferrari have built this with the focus to be taken on the track. And we can go on to turbo, which is next. We can look through different turbo settings. So you can really look at a lot of things on this car, and this one, settings. So you can look at dimming, right display, date, hour, language, measurement units, car settings, service, caliber times, etc. So we go back. That's that screen. So in the main display, of course, you have the two screens, the center, which is the revs, all the different lights. We have this side, which is more of like the infotainment navigation settings, and it's built differently. So as I showed you on this side, it's not a twist. You have the different buttons to click and press, but on this side, it turns, and you kind of click it in and out. But it's the same principle of the buttons at the bottom. So if we go back from here, except I'm on the radio, we see this. So we have the radio, media, and you can, of course, you can connect different things to it. Bluetooth, USB, navigation, you can show map, destination, home, etc. Phone and settings, so that's display, audio, Bluetooth or USB. So you have all of this going on. You have this one for this screen, this one for this screen. They're laid out slightly differently, lots of things going on, and you even have buttons that I've just felt behind the wheel, all of this here. And I'm sure it would be fine to adjust it, because you would just intuitively think, okay, I need to adjust engine settings, so I'm just going to go for this one, or I need to just adjust navigation, etc. on this one. But I think that a more consolidated system, maybe in one way, would be better. So as you can see there, you have the map that comes up, which I actually think is very nice. Instead of having a big screen over here, it's just there. So, you know, if you were just looking down to check your speed or something else, you could just quickly have a look at the map. So I think that's quite nice. What else? We have cup holders down here. We have climate control settings here, all finished in leather, apart from these buttons, of course. The buttons they have a nice kind of click sensation to them. They don't feel cheaply made. None of the car feels cheaply made. And apart from that, I think we've covered everything in here. The roof lining is quite abrasive, actually. But no, I mean, in this part of the car, it feels comfortable. I feel like I'm well supported in the car. I think actually in the AMG GTS I feel a little bit more well supported. Like I feel the seats hug more. In this they don't quite hug as much, but there are rear supports for the car, definitely. Right, so I think that I'll go and wrap up the video. So there we are, there's my video tour and insight of the new 2015 Ferrari 488 GTB. Final conclusion of the car that I didn't say before, getting in and out initially was a bit difficult, but as with all low cars, there's a trick to it, there's a knack to it. The sills on the side, they aren't too wide, so it's not exactly difficult, like with the Koenigsegg Gira R that I reviewed a few weeks ago. That was a lot more challenging, but this is actually kind of fine. This car is also currently for sale at Superfutura, so if you'd be interested, I'm going to leave all the contact details in the description of the video, so make sure you go check it out. But until next time, cheers.